Hello everyone and welcome to ePython Lab. ePython Lab helps you to find relevant contents about data science, data analytics and machine learning. Keep learning with us. Today I'm going to show you how to transform an XML document into PANDAS DataFrame. In the previous tutorials I have shown how to transform an XML document into a PANDAS DataFrame, but it was a very simple XML document that transformed into Pandas data frame. You can watch this video how to transform an XML document into Pandas data frame. But today I'm going to show you how to transform a little bit complex XML documents into Pandas data frame. Here I have an XML document. This XML document contains a text, different texts. Actually, if you are working, especially if you are working on sentiment analysis or natural language processing, these tutorials will help you to get understand how to transform, how to extract relevant contents from an XML document. Here there are different nodes. There are a sentence element node, a root node. Sentence this root node, inside this root node there is an ID attribute node which contains an IDs of each text that identifies each text in the document, and there is also a text node that contains a text. This document is a large document that will this document is related to that helps to identify classify either a negative document or text is a negative text or positive text, especially if you are working on sentiment analysis to classify a text as a positive or a negative. If you are working on classifying a text in tutors, especially on Twitter tutors or Facebook tutors. Therefore, I'm going to show you how to extract this little bit complex XML documents and transform into structured formats, especially into Pandas data frame. Now, we have a sentence root node which contains an attribute node ID and a text node which contains a text. There is also aspect terms node. Inside this there is a aspect term node which contains term attributes, polarity attributes, either negative or positive. I think from to this is a time interval in minutes. If a text is maybe a text is food, there is a time interval from 8 some minutes to up to a minutes. And if a text is classified as a medicine, so there may be a time interval. So this is an attributes. In the root node sentence, there is also another categories that categorizes a sentence, either a service, food, menu, whatever it is. It will categorize a text in different categories. Therefore, this sentence node groups different nodes: a text node, attribute nodes, and different nodes. So each sentence node has different subnodes. So there are different. We have different texts which identified by IDs in the sentence root node. Therefore, how to extract this document and transform into pandas data frame to make it ready for analysis. Now let's get started. Just open your Jupyter notebook if you are working on Jupyter notebook or any other text editors which supports pandas and XML libraries. Now first import pandas as PD and import the XML library XML e3 dot elementary as 80. Then run this cell and go to the next cell. Then in the next cell we going to define a function that going to be parsed this XML document into pandas data frame. Let's define a function parse this document file name, then root a parameter that that defining the function, and here we first define attributes root dot attributes in there and this variable. Then for every sentence here, for every sentence, because every text, every document is enclosed in sentence root node. Therefore, we use for loop every x element node in root dot find all from a sentence root node. For every this just store in the sentence root node there is an ID attribute node. Therefore we just first we define this total info is a dictionary which gonna be a star all the attributes and texts values in the dictionary that will help us to simply transform into pandas, because if a document is stored in a dictionary or a JSON file, it is an easy to transform or read in pandas, but it is difficult to read XML document in pandas if it is not transformed or extracted, converted into dictionary or JSON. Therefore, this is now the first thing we just update the attribute in the dictionary, the root attribute that is found in the sentence node, element node. Then attributes, x dot attributes. Now there is a text node inside this sentence node. Therefore, we just use to import. Just we create a new text that contains that refers a key that refers the text which is extracted from which is got from this document, XML document. Then x dot find the text node from sentence root node and find the text from a text node dot text. and store in this text key that pairs with a text key. Now we finished this part, a text part. So from every sentence root node, which going to be extracted all the IDs and the texts, but there are other nodes, aspect term, aspect inside the aspect terms, and aspect category inside aspect categories. Therefore, we going to extract all those. First, we just first terms, then find x dot find all the attributes or all the nodes information from the aspect terms. Inside this aspect term there is a subnode, element node, aspect term. Therefore we just use aspect terms forward slash aspect term. Then there is also categories, x dot find all categories from categories element node. There is a sub element node inside these categories, but all those element nodes are inside the sentence node. Then for every term in the terms, just iterate for term in terms and update the dictionary, which stores all the attributes from this aspect terms element node. Update all nodes term dot attributes. Also from categories, update all the category attribute nodes in the dictionary. Cat in cats dot cat dot attributes. Now just return or the dictionary in the form of yields. Yield actually I have described in the previous tutorial. Yield helps to return large amount of data. If your data size is large, this yield will return that data, because it will compress the data in small sizes and it will return yield dot total info. Now we have finished this. Then we call this function and assign the root element. First we just parse the document, this XML document, and assign to this function as, or pass to this function as an argument. Therefore, E3 et parse your document name tall.xml. Actually, you should store your XML document and your notebook file in the same directory to easily identify or easily get the paths of your file. Then root element roots or elementary, then e3 dot get root element from XML document. If you then the next is pass this root as an argument to the function parse tool. Then tool data parse tool, then if you run return root, there is no just it returns an object. There is nothing, because this gonna be extracted all the elements from this XML document and store into dictionary. The dictionary, this is a dictionary, I mean a yield object. So this object contains an information called a dictionary information. Therefore, we just use a list method, then data list tool data. Now if you print data, all the information is extracted like this in the form of dictionary, but you need to convert this into pandas. df pd dot DataFrame, then pass data as a parameter to this. Then we can check this head, the first 5 elements, just like this. All the IDs are retrieved, the text columns are retrieved and converted into text column. The terms, which contains all the attributes from term attribute node, for example term burgers. For example, let's try to see in the first XML document, the ID is 3121, the text, but the stuff was so horrible to us. So we can easily identify this text. This is a negative text. So 3121, but the stuff was so horrible to us. The term is stuff, polarity is negative, because this text is a negative, horrible, and there is a time interval 830. In which category this text is categorized? It is a service, because staff gives a service for any customers or whatever they give. In the second element, there is to be completely fair, the only redeems fact. This is category term is food and polarity is negative. There is time interval. It is category is miscellaneous or anecdotes. So this is what a document which is extracted or converted from an XML document. So you can further analyze. So you can check this document. def.shape. So there are 3041 rows and 7 columns. You can count first ID column, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh column. There are 3041 rows also. So you can analyze. There are, for example, in the term, there is a non-value. For example, in the third row, fourth row, 25, 34. Let's check this ID 25, 34. Here, why the term is non-value? Because there is no term element nodes in this sentence element node. So it gives non-value. There is in this column it gives non-value. So we can clean this data and we can get the right formats. We can make ready for sentiment analysis as well. This is all about today's video tutorials. Thanks for watching.